Week 7 edition of Dream Season underway. The Packers and the Browns faced off in Cleveland, Ohio, in somewhat of an offensive game. First quarter, Favre back to throw touchdown on 2 straight series to make it 17-14 in the third quarter. But Favre, with the game on the line up by 6, it would be a 3-and-out, giving Cleveland one last chance. With 15 seconds to go, Kosar to Ozzie Newsome, who gets out of bounds at the 3, giving the Browns one final chance. Second and goal with 6 seconds to go, back to throw. Mack in the end zone for the touchdown, and the fullback gives the Browns a 21-20 lead, and they would win the football game from there. It's Alex Mack in the corner of the end zone. Browns now 4-3 and first in the North. Chicago in its hot defense, traveling to Cincinnati, taking on the Bengals, but it would be the offense that would step up. Ken Ortega with the early touchdown, 7-3 Bears. Then Walter Payton on the following possession, making it 24-9 and eventually 31-15. The epic 89 Niners traveling to Houston to take on the 2-4 Texans. It seems like no one in the NFL can stop this John Taylor reverse play. 7-0 early in Houston. Then John Taylor would continue his huge day with a big reception, 34 yards, and a Niners touchdown. He would finish with 6 catches, 168 yards, and 2 touchdowns. After a phenomenal Niners first half, 28-0, the Houston Texans finally get on the scoreboard. Andre Davis with the touchdown. And then with the Niners up by 18, it would be a pick 6 by Dante Robinson to scare the Niners into playing some sort of football in the second half. They get a late touchdown, and then the Texans with Owen Daniels would make it 38-24. San Diego taking on the winless Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. After a 7-all tie in the first quarter, Fred Arbanis to get on the scoreboard, and then Chuck Muncie to tie the game, and then a third Muncie touchdown would win the game for the Bolts, 22-16. Minnesota on a 1-game winning streak, which is nothing compared to the 3-game winning streak of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They came into this one ready to play. Randy Grossman with a touchdown, and then on the ensuing kickoff, which would be returned by Anderson, the cornerback, he would take it 101 yards the distance for the Pittsburgh touchdown, 14-3 at the end of the first quarter. But just when the Steelers were getting on a roll, Terry Bradshaw back to throw. He would get intercepted by Trad Greenway, and then a Favre handoff to Peterson. He'll travel 32 yards for a Vikings touchdown to get them a game 14-10. And then Favre going deep for Bernard Berrien, 17-14, the speedster with the 80-yard touchdown. But the Steelers weren't done just yet. John Stallworth to make it 21-17 at halftime. In the second, with the Steelers up by 7, Terry Bradshaw would throw his third pick on the afternoon. Terrence McCauley getting into Steelers territory. Adrian Peterson, 2 plays later, would reply with the 35-yard touchdown to make it 27-24 Vikings. The Steelers need to reply on 4th and 2 Bradshaw. Oh, jeez. Vikings win their second straight. Patriots, Buccaneers, game of the week in London. They would host an early Patriots dominance. Wes Welker on 2 straight big receptions, getting his Patriots inside the 20-yard line. Then they would have to settle for a field goal, but that would lead to the first points of the day. On the ensuing Buccaneers possession, Brad Johnson handing off to Michael Pittman, who would get stuffed, 3-and-out for the Bucs. And then on the following possession, it would be Brady driving his team down the field. Jabbar Gaffney into the end zone for a 10-0 score. But that was when Brad Johnson would reply by Mike Alstott on the reception. And then to Ken Dilger battling his way 16 yards for the touchdown. Bucks D need a stop before halftime, and they get it. Corey Ivy on the interception. Can Johnson and the Bucks offense reply before halftime? Yes, they can. The score is 14-13 at halftime. Third quarter, after 2 3-and-outs, Brad Johnson back to throw on 3rd and 13. Mike Alstott with a big reception, getting his team in the red zone, and they would take advantage. Joe Juravicius, but red zone issues strike again. On 3rd and 7, an incomplete pass. The Bucks would have to settle for a field goal attempt. Martin Gramatica for the lead on the chippy field goal is no good. He missed it wide to the left. Patriots would get a field goal of their own. So the Buccaneers in the fourth quarter, Ken Dilger getting the big reception, and then down by 2, Brad Johnson back to throw. George Juravicius with the touchdown, and the late Bucks lead Now the Buccaneers need a 2-point conversion to make it a 6-point game, and they get it. But they left Brady with way too much time. Can he respond? Brady from the 28 hitting Wes Welker, who gets a first down. And then on 3rd down and 1, it would be Randy Moss with a big first down, getting into the red zone with 12 seconds to go. Brady the end zone. Touchdown, Wes Welker. They take the tie, 22-22. Now the extra point to take the lead with 11 seconds, and it is good. The Patriots come down from 16 to 22 to take the lead. Now Brad Johnson, one last chance to win the game. Oh, going deep, and it is incomplete. The final 23-22 on the game of the week. Colts Rams, you know there's going to be points put up. 5-1 on the season. St. Louis, they come into this game all cylinders rolling. 7-0, and then Williams for the 14-0 score. Torrey Holt with a long bomb, getting the late touchdown, 21-0 in the 3rd quarter. And then as the 4th quarter is going on, Peyton Manning back to throw a rainbow for Joseph Adai, who catches it, and he'll travel all the way 70 yards for a Colts touchdown, but it'll be way too late, final 16-34. Jets versus the Raiders in a defensive slugfest. Jack Tatum getting the best of the Jets receiver here. Namath getting blasted right there. But up by 1, it would be the Raiders who would respond. Ken Stabler with the big throw for the touchdown, and the final would be 21-13 Raiders, who are now 6-1. Saints against the Dolphins in Miami, and it would be all Dolphins early on. Bob Greasy handoff to Mercury Morris, who would go 58 yards for the touchdown and the early lead. And then on the ensuing kickoff, returned by Green, it would be a fumble by Green and recovered by Colin, and that's a house call. 14-0, Finny Fins. But it would be a response by the Saints. Robert Meacham with a touchdown. Otto Stowe with a huge grab, giving the Dolphins the win, 23-16. Cardinals at 4-1, taking on the 1-5 Giants, who have been struggling this year, but wouldn't struggle in the ball game thanks to Joe Morris, making it 7-0 early. Then the Cards down 7-3 in the 1st quarter. It would be Jeremy Irvin traveling 55 yards for the touchdown and the Cardinals lead. But right before halftime, Phil Simms getting Joe Morris his 2nd touchdown of the game, and then Manuel to take the lead 21-10. 21-16 now. Phil Simms back to throw. Dominique Rogers Cromartie, the speedster, going and taking the lead, 22-21. And then in the 4th quarter, Joe Morris with his 3rd touchdown on the day. Now the Giants have the 7-point advantage, but the Cardinals driving. 12 seconds to go, 4th down and 5. This is the game, people, to the end zone. And it would be intercepted by Welch. Now the Giants are 2-5 on the season. Cardinals 4-2. Falcons at 2-3, while the Dallas Cowboys at 3-2. Boys need this win to stay afloat in the NFC East, but it would be a pick 6 by Willie Buchanan to make it 10-0 in the 2nd quarter. As the 4th quarter goes on, Emmitt Smith into the end zone to tie the game at 13, but it would be Atlanta from there. Chris Chandler with a big play to Kinchin, who would get to the 15-yard line. And then on 3rd down and 8, the backup running back into the end zone, Downs, to make it 20-13. And then Aikman with a chance to win the game. It would be Jesse Tuggle with another pick 6. The final 27-13. The Dirty Bird going on in Dallas. Carolina got their first win last week, but now they have to host the Buffalo Bills. Early on, Jake Delhomme picked off by Seals, and that would make things worse for Carolina. And then Thurman Thomas to seal it. The final 28-7. Bills now 4-3. Monday Night Football, Philly traveling to Washington in a huge NFC East rivalry matchup. John Riggins, the big man, traveling 76 yards. The house call to make it 10-3. And then Kaufman, who would make the tackle, force the fumble, pick it up, and run for a touchdown. 17-3 in the 4th. A garbage touchdown, McNabb to Owens to make it 10-17. Week 7 standings now after all those games. It would be Oakland, Miami, Baltimore, and Tennessee who are alive in the AFC. While in the NFC, the Rams are tops out of everyone, followed by the Bears, Skins, and Saints at 4-2. Thank you for watching this presentation of the Dream Season Football League. Tune in Sunday for next week's edition of the Dream Season Football League.